Hi, my name is Felicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is Pretty Culture. Well, today Stacy and I are talking about Black identity. And we wanted to bring this topic up because we talked about it personally, like in our personal lives and also in class. But after a long conversation that we had, we just wanted to share it with you guys because that's what we do. But I guess we can just dive right into it. There's this issue of being Black and what is being Black and the things that Black people do and the things that Black people don't do. Just to name like specifics, like Black people listen to this type of music, or Black people don't listen to this type of music, or Black people dress like this, and all these things. And so, as you guys know, we're both artists. We both dance and write, and we're into like painting, all that kind of stuff. And so, as artists, I just brought up the question, well, how much is Black identity and how much is just self? Like, how much do I have to do, like, to be Black, and how much is just me, Felicia, and how much is just you, Stacy? Like, why is it always I'm doing this to be Black? So, if you dress a certain way, why is it that you have to dress that way because you're Black? How come you just can't be free to express yourself? And that's why being an artist came up, because as artists, we are taught to express ourselves, yes, but to also learn to critically think about things, learn to question things, and sometimes this causes a lot of artists to like be outside the box. And so it's not so much about being Black or being whatever it is, it's about being you. And if you've grown up in a certain neighborhood, then you may pick up certain things. And then you go to a certain school, you pick up things from there. And you go to a different college, and then you date somebody else, and you pick up things. So all these things they're just mixes that make you who you are. And we had a really good conversation because I was like, you know, as a woman, there are things that I do because I am a woman. Not so much because I'm Black, but because of my gender. So we have ethnicity identity, but there's also gender identity. Like, there are things that I identify with because I'm a woman. I would prefer a guy to treat me a certain way because I'm a woman. Or there are issues in the media that I agree or disagree with because I'm a woman. Because I'm an artist, there are things that I stand for. There are things that I promote because I like, you know, arts for youth, or arts for, you know, people within my community because I'm an artist, or because of my spiritual background, or because of my education, or just different things that make me who, you know, I am. So at what point, like, are we supposed to compartmentalize our lives, or do you just focus on being you? And I think this is really, it comes to play more so, I would say, in social interactions, because nobody's going to look at you and be like, oh, well, you're being a woman right now, or you're being Black right now, or da-da-da. But I think sometimes it comes to play subconsciously almost when we're talking about things, and, you know, you meet somebody and you introduce the new person to your friends, and they're like, oh, well, she's different, or, you know, oh, I didn't know she was going to talk like that, or, you know, I didn't know you like that kind of music. But I think that's where it kind of comes to play. It's like in the back, like in the subconscious, we have these things that we think we ought to do. And with it being a new year, I'm just like, do you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree that sometimes might feel like we're put in a box, or even put ourselves in a box because of our ethnicity. And we should strive to be the person that we were created to be and live out our own purpose. And that does not mean that you negate your culture or your ethnicity. I still am very comfortable with saying I'm a Black person, or African American, or whichever subtitle you want to use, but that does not mean that I have to consume or agree with the ideals that the supposed Black community all agree on. So if there's a issue that the media might portray, well, the Black community stance is this on this, or the Black community supports this, and I might not support that as me myself, I shouldn't feel that, oh, I am letting down the race. And that's something that we kind of discussed in another video on white privilege, that sometimes people of color have this thing where they are expected to all agree on everything.
Like, we all think alike.
Like, all Black people are supposed to vote for Barack Obama, point blank, period, because we all Black. Like, things like that. If you publicly say something bad about a Tyler Perry movie and you're a black filmmaker, i.e. Spike Lee, then you have somehow done something wrong. Like, we have to, I understand sticking together, and you do want some unity, right? Especially coming right out of Kwanzaa, we do want unity, but free speech is still, and you still have freedom of expression, so you should be able to feel good about what you choose to do. This reminds me of a student of mine, and I think that I do a good job of representing people, dancers of color, or, you know, dancers in all genres of dance. But she asked me, so is modern dance for black people and ballet for white people? And I was like, no, you know, your ethnicity doesn't determine the type of dance you do, right? So if you're a little black girl and you want to be a ballerina, then that's perfectly okay. You don't have to stay in what society tells you you're good at or what society tells you that you shouldn't.
Right, and I agree. And I was just thinking about the whole issue with, I believe it was Pastor Jamal Bryant. Was it him? He made the comment after Barack Obama, before the second re-election, after he made the statement saying that he was going to support, you know, gay marriage. And then there was a comment made that, well, he should have asked the black church.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just because you're black doesn't mean you, like, every black person does not agree with these things, and some of it is spiritual identity. Some, like I said, some of it is the way you're raised. People vote based on socioeconomic background, so it's just...
And man, Felicia and I don't even agree on everything, so you can't, like, when I hear these statements of the black community supports, or black people think this, like, which black people? Because I know black people in Houston are different from black people in Chicago. Black people in one part of Houston are different from... I might be different from my sister. We have the exact same upbringing, the same social economic status, the same educational opportunities, the same everything, and we think differently. So we kind of have to, where we want to take in consideration, you know, what groups of people may need, and to some degree you do have to group people together, perhaps.
But there are other identities in life. Like, it's just not just your ethnicity. There's age. Because of my generation, I see things differently than my mother.
Right, and so when you talk about the comment from Jamal Bryant, the black church, he should have addressed the black church, that's almost implying that all black people are Christians, and that's not the case.
Right. So yes, identity, and this brings up the second part as far as compartmentalizing it. Like, I know we talked about this as well. I mean, what do? Are you black here, and then you're a woman there? Or do you do this, that, and the other? And just personally, in my personal life, this is something that I've learned. I told myself that I would not compartmentalize myself. I would just be whole, and whoever I am, that's just what I am. The person that I am at work is going to be the person that I am when I'm on the stage. The person that I am on stage, that's the person you get in class. So I can't, you know, be this person here and this person there and that person there. First of all, because it takes too much energy, too much to think about. But also, it's just this, like I said, for me, I've learned it through art, because I've had to learn to express myself. For somebody else, they're going to learn it a different way. But art has really taught me that I have to present myself as whole and whoever I am. And some people that are African American, they may agree with certain things. Some people may not get with it. That's fine. But you really and truly have to do you, because there's so many different things that make your identity. So I think just going forward, things evolve and things change. And black identity in the 60s is not black identity in the 70s, and is not black identity, you know, currently. And another last example, I was watching, because I get bored sometimes, and I was watching the Precious, like, commentary. You know how you could, like, watch the commentaries or the making of or whatever, and the director, I forget his name, the guy that produced and directed the movie, but he was talking about one particular scene, if you guys remember, in Precious, one of the Precious daydream scenes where the boy was sitting in class and the white teacher called him boy, and he was supposed to get upset. Well, the director said that behind the scenes, the little black boy, I think the actor was maybe like 14 or whatever, he didn't know why he was supposed to be upset. So the director, who is, you know, in his 40s, an older black male, told him, well, this is how I feel about this. This is why you get upset when a white man calls you boy. But the younger black boy was so clueless. Like, he didn't know. Like, he was like, so I'm supposed to get upset in this scene? And he was like, yeah, like, you're supposed to be upset that he called you boy. And so it just kind of shows that black identity changes. Like, time changes things. We just evolve, and people think about things differently. And what's black identity to me may not be black identity to my sister, may not be black identity to you. Another girl may identify more with her sexuality, somebody else with her gender, or so somebody else with their spirituality. So it's just, I think it's changing, and change is good.
So thank you for tuning in.
All right, and hope you subscribe and comment.